Presentation was very timely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Our next speaker this evening is Mr. Ted Smith. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak, Mayor and Council. My name is Ted Smith. I reside at... it is with great pleasure that I'm here before you tonight, I guess it's a vote upon the report of the Governance and Priorities Committee regarding the licensing of cannabis dispensaries. I've had a very long relationship with this council on this topic, and I don't want to go back over that, but I cannot express my thanks enough for taking this step. And it's a very important step in that you're setting up a domino chain really towards the federal government to take action on this, because the federal government has not taken a leadership role on this. It's been left to citizens like us to take this into our hands and provide these services despite the great risk of life and liberty to do so. And so having taken that risk to change what's happening at the federal government and being supported by you in that is just phenomenal to see. And I want to, I guess, just assure you that the front page article of last week was incorrect in the Times columnist. They were supposed to print a retraction, but they really made me look like an idiot there on this matter. And I regret that, but there wasn't much that I could do. I certainly do not anticipate fighting the City Council in this regulatory process in any sense, as they indicated there. And so I'm sure you knew that, but I thought to state it for the public record. I guess on a personal note, I didn't say this last time, but as many of you know, my girlfriend Gail has been struggling with cancer. She was actually sent home to die 6 months ago. And through the use of cannabis and other medicines, natural medicines, she's getting better. I took her to the beach yesterday, and she's off the narcotic entirely. She's getting off the steroid, and this herb and the medicine that our club provides really is saving her life and many other people's. And it's really surreal to have it come and hit me at home like this. But I'm at home being supported by this club now instead of leading the charge. And many of you are getting to know Dieter, who I've passed the club over to and speaking next. And I can assure you that we couldn't have found a better man to pass this club over to. He's not nearly as radical as I am. And otherwise is a very diligent, hardworking man. And I'm very proud to work with him. And very proud to work with you. You're all exceptional humans. Thank you, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is indeed Dieter Macpherson.
Hello, Mayor and Council. My name is Dieter Macpherson. I believe this is the first time. I'll keep my comments very brief. I'm an advisor to the board of the Canadian Association of Medical Cannabis Dispensaries, as well as the executive director of the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club. The Canadian Association of Medical Cannabis Dispensaries is a not-for-profit trade association for medical cannabis dispensaries founded in 2011. Our dispensary certification program is a rigorous accreditation process developed in part with the support of the UBCC project and funded also in part by the Peter Wall Solutions Initiative. I would like to thank you for giving the topic of marijuana-related businesses such time and thoughtful discussion during the PGC meeting on May the 7th. I believe there are many valid concerns raised about community impact and patient needs and the difficult balance that needs to be struck. I believe at this point in time you are not alone in attempting to find your role in managing the complex issues surrounding safe and fair access to medical cannabis. At this time, I respectfully request that Council consider allocating the resources required by the City staff to give this process the due and care attention it deserves. Community stakeholders have a great deal of experience on this topic, but with Council's direction and additional resources, I expect that Victoria's leadership on the subject will have a great deal of impact across Canada. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything else that anyone wishes to pull? Councillor Alto?
I'd like to pull number 4, medical marijuana.
Okay. Okay, so 6, 7, and 4 are pulled. Council, would anyone be interested in moving the rest?
I'll move the balance.
Moved by Councillor Alto, seconded by Councillor Loveday. All those in favour? Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, medical marijuana. Could we have some motion put on the table and then we can discuss or amend?
I'll move the motion from committee.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Councillor Alto.
Yeah, I'd like to test a potential amendment to it, and it's based not just on some of the comments that were presented this evening, but in conversation with a number of activists and supporters and folks who have been providing the service for some years. And that is just the addition of some words in the preamble. It currently says that Council directs staff to bring forward for Council's consideration, and then there are 2 items. I'd like to test the possibility of amending it to read that Council directs staff to consult with existing membership-based medical cannabis providers in the City of Victoria to bring forward for Council's consideration, etc.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on that addition? Seeing none, I'll call the question on the amendment. All those in favour? Any opposed? Thank you. On the motion as amended, Councillor Loveday.
Yeah, I wasn't at the GPC last Thursday, and I wanted to say that I was watching online from afar, and that I felt the same way that the speakers did in listening to you all, and the depth and breadth of the conversation, and I was really impressed, and I was very happy with the outcome. So I felt relieved watching it because it weighed on me not being here. So for all the votes and not being in the city, but thank you.
You might want to explain the bar wasn't in Victoria.
Councillor Isaac.
No, I think Councillor Loveday was attending to professional duties in another jurisdiction. But I'd like to thank a number of the operators, particularly the longest standing ones, for providing this source of medicine to help relieve pain for people. And I look forward to working with them, but also the newer operators to provide both medicinal and recreational marijuana in a responsible way. And I think the proliferation is a cause for concern in terms of there hasn't been consultation with neighborhoods about the location, the appearance, the controls around minors, but particularly the information we've seen in these presentations, I think, show that this substance can be distributed responsibly in the community. Perhaps there's mechanisms to capture greater revenue for all levels of government, particularly for the for-profit operators. So those are discussions we have to have, but I think it is the time to move forward with regulation and further taxation of the distribution of this substance.
Thank you. Councillor Alto.
Just briefly, I think it was made clear in last week's conversation that my reservation about proceeding with regulation is not at all based in a lack of support for it at all, but in the clear concern of not wanting to unintentionally or intentionally negatively affect the long-serving providers who have done so much for our community in providing this medicine over the years. And so the reason that I wanted to introduce that amendment this evening was to reflect on how I believe we could make these regulations purposeful and better by listening to the experience of those membership-driven organizations. They have managed to succeed where so many others have failed and have really made the West Coast and the city in particular a leader in providing this medicine to people who really need it. So while I do have reservations about going down the regulation path without also having the ability to deal with legalization and taxation, I think this is a good step forward, and as long as we do it thoughtfully and with a clear understanding of what we're trying to achieve in a positive effect, and with the caution needed to not inadvertently negatively affect both the membership-driven providers and consumers, I think we will find a solution here that will work for everyone, and I'm very pleased to be part of a council that's willing to consider this.
Further speakers? Thank you. I'll just echo the thoughts of the people who have spoken. Obviously, I got choked up, Mr. Smith, when you were speaking, and I think that for me indicates how I feel about this issue and really for the leadership that your community has taken to bring us to this point. I think our job as leaders is to follow the leaders in the community, so thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 6, request for funding for Snowbird's performance. Could we move by Councillor Coleman? Is there a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Madoff. Discussion.